So I walk into the building and I look over and I'm like, oh my God, there she is. Whoopi Goldberg on my dream list. I get to knock this out. I get to knock it off. And I think to myself, I get quiet from, what am I going to say? Okay, so I get it together what I'm going to say. My assistant is with me. She says, I'm going to grab this picture and you talk. So I walk up to her. This was the easiest transition ever. I thought it was going to be hard. I'm sweating. I walk up to her and she's like, oh my God, hi. Because we were there for the magazine feature, they had already did their homework. They knew who was there. They knew who I was. They knew I was there for being featured. So we start this wonderful conversation. I tell her how awesome she is, how I loved her in movies and just different things that she's done in her life. I commend her on just celebrating her success in life. She celebrates me and my success. I said, can we grab a picture? A couple other people jump in the picture. I wanted one by myself. So I said, can we grab one more with just you and I? She's like, of course we can, honey. We grabbed the picture and the rest is history. 5 tips for networking your way to the top. Well, I tell you what, you have to be seen to be considered. So you want to get out of your comfort zone and get out and be seen. Go places, go to workshops, go to events that are in your bent, that are towards your bent, toward the bent of what you're called to do, the category of work that you work in. Whatever it is that you do, you want to make sure that you find yourself around other people, successful people, people doing better than you, and go to those events and network. All right. So there's network events you can go to just to have fun too. A lot of times I go to events where you pay for a dinner plate and you're giving toward a cause. And those events are super exciting as well. And you meet a lot of great people. But here's the tip. When you get to the events, make sure that you open your mouth. You're not shy, that you talk to people and you get to know who people are. I remember one time being at this awesome event, this event where lots of leaders and coaches and entrepreneurs, and it was like what I call the turn of the century for coaches and entrepreneurship and women in entrepreneurship. And anyway, I was at this awesome event, and there were so many major people in the audience that were starting new startups, that were starting new companies, that were doing new projects. And I happened to meet the owners of Infusionsoft. It's a company that helps you with your mailing list and your marketing of your business and that kind of thing. Well, anyway, I got their information and we talked for a very long time and about their company. And I was one of the first people to join their company. So I leaped in, I joined their company, and I'm telling you, got all set up, and it was a new thing for me. I was new in my business. They were new in their business. But because we were at the event, we had that great conversation. The networking turned into a really awesome outcome for me. So I got their product, got their software, started using it, implementing it, and I'm telling you, it really helped me to make millions and millions and millions of dollars in my business. It was amazing. And because I was one of the first people to be a part of their company, that as their prices changed drastically, they increased over the years, but my price stayed the same for years and years and years and years, never increased, never changed, my price. So it caused me to be able to really get my feet on the ground, really be able to make a profit with their company as a great source for me in my business for marketing. So you want to make sure that you never know who you're sitting next to. Don't act funny to the person sitting next to you because you have no idea what's on the inside of them. You have no idea what they're about to become. Who people are today is not what they'll be tomorrow. I always tell people, turn to your neighbor and say, hey, you have no idea what I'm about to become, so don't act funny with me. And I do that because so many times I've been in audiences and I didn't act funny with the person next to me. We're both in startup. We're both just, trying to get our feet wet in a new territory. But 10, 15 years later, we're both successful, very well known. You're sitting next to somebody who ends up being a famous author, famous speaker, whatever. And so Never act funny with people when you get out and network. Hey, this is a perfect place to stop and tell you about my exciting Women in Wealth Club. This is the ultimate online community where you get personalized consulting, accountability, systems, and virtual assistants to keep you focused. We're probably more extreme about your goals than you're used to, but if you really want to get serious about your goals and achieve them in record-breaking time, then extreme is exactly what you need. So click the link below to reserve a spot. All right, back to the video. All right. Also, give something for them to get in touch with you. I have on my phone a digital business card. So now I can just say, hey, tap my phone, and then it downloads all the information I want them to have. It goes to my website. It gives them all the information I want them to have about me. It gives them a little background about me and lets them know my Instagram, my Facebook, my TikTok, whatever, how they can look me up and see everything about me without them having to physically hold onto a card or anything. Not that cards are anything wrong with them in this digital world. You know, I still believe in paper. I love it. That's why I have journals and I write on pen and paper every single day. So I actually have business cards as well, and my business cards do have QR codes on them, so they can scan that QR code and actually go to my website as well. But nonetheless, you want to have something that people can actually quickly be able to have a takeaway to remember who you are, that they meant you, and where they can find you. All right. Also, prepare your pitch. When people say, what do you do? I don't know how many times I've been sitting on a plane, sitting in first class, sitting next to somebody I don't know, and they say, what do you do? And then I tell them real quick, what do you do? Don't not reframe and ask the question back. What do you do? They tell you what they do, and then make sure that there's a touch point. Oh, that's awesome. We should stay in touch. Maybe we can help each other one day. All right. So I know one time I was flying to New York. I sat next to somebody and I was like, what do you do? And they told me, and then, what do you do? And I told me, now this is so funny. This is when I used to own a jewelry store. I'm flying to New York, and I said, they said, what do you do? I said, I own a jewelry store. And she says, laughing. She's like, what? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, what's your volume? How do you do? And I was, at that point, I was doing so well, doing so good with my jewelry store. And I said, what do you do? She's like, I own wholesale jewelry. What? How? That was set up, okay? That was a God set up moment for me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna come see you tomorrow. I'm gonna go to where I'm planning to go today, but I'm gonna come see you. I'm gonna stop by your showroom and that kind of thing. My goodness, we've been in a relationship for over 15 years from being on that plane and making that connection, all right? So be able to give your 5-minute elevator pitch, you know? What do you do, and how can I get in touch with you? And tell what you do in an exciting way. Go, oh, I sell jewelry. Oh, I'm a coach. Oh, no, I mean, when they say, what do you do? I have the most exquisite shop that you have ever seen. I mean, I got some top-notch clients that buy from me every single month. The more exciting you are about what you do, the more exciting people will be about helping you to do more of what you do, all right? So tell it, and tell in an exciting way. Also, be interesting, all right? And be interested. So don't take over the conversation and talk all about you, and don't talk to the other person about them. But be interesting. You know, be very interesting in what you do. Don't lie, but make sure that people see the color of your life. You know, I always let people in a little bit about what I do, because I never know what point or what angle you can help me in. I throw a lot of events. I do a lot of parties. So one time I was at a networking event, and a person said, what do you do? And I said, well, what I do is I am a life coach. I help people. I change their lives. I do coaching. I said, but sometimes I think I should have been an interior designer or an event planner. I knew the environment I was in, so I knew that was a good line to say. And they said, well, why would you say that? I said, because I'm very good at those things. I used to do them. I don't do it anymore, but I have parties all the time. And I'm planning events all the time. And I decided that at least once a year, I will help a friend or family member or somebody with a decorating project. The person said, oh my goodness, well, let me tell you how to get into the wholesale showrooms. Let me tell you how you can get into the showrooms for decorating. But let me also give you an invitation to this event that I want you to meet one of my friends who can get you into everything there is for party planning. Everything you need to know, all the wholesale products, papers, napkins, all that kind of stuff. That's been over 15 years ago. It changed my life. I still have those connections, and I still have the ability to get a hold of certain things, and I use them to this day for parties, events, and decorating. So I'm telling you, be interested in what they do, but also be interesting in telling what you do. All right, so think about it and trust your gut. Let your intuition be your guide. I usually don't just fly off the handle and just talk. I'm kind of like talking, and then I'm getting quiet and I'm pacing myself because I'm pulling from within. Like, what should I say, God? What should I talk about? What should I say here? And I find myself saying the right things at the right time that causes a big return on my behalf. All right. And then the next thing is, number 5 is do your research. When you are planning on going to a networking event, when you're planning on, being out for the purpose of networking, do your research. Know what the event is about. Know who are some of the people that are going to be there. Know who you're talking to. Sometimes you can get a list of who's coming, who's invited, or you can look up who was there last year, or, whatever this event is about. Know what environment you're going into. So a few years ago, I won like Coach of the Year. And so I got invited to this event in New York City, and it was amazing. We first went in and got a photo shoot done at Milk Studio, which was on my goal list. I always wanted to have a photo shoot at Milk Studio. Back in the day, 5 years ago or so, this was a big deal to have a photo shoot at Milk Studio. If you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. But anyway, I wanted to have a photo shoot there. That's where they did the photo shoot, the makeup and that kind of thing. For the magazine, and I always was believing to be on the cover. Now, it was a fold out cover. There was a person that was actually on the front cover, then it folded out, but the front whole cover was the fold out, was me and all the ladies that were picked to be whatever we represented of the year, like Baker of the Year, Coach of the Year, whatever it was, for that magazine. It was an amazing time. Whoopi Goldberg was there. So many people who were on my dream list. I mean, knocked out about 15, 20 people when we finally got to the event to honor us for our efforts and our entrepreneurship and what we've done for women. All right. But anyway, I did my research. This was not the first event of its kind. They had one similar before. So before I got to the event, I was like, what do the people wear to this event? Where's it going to be located? What's being served? Where am I going to be sitting? How do they get people seated? Can I bring somebody? And I did. I brought my assistant with me. I'm telling you, it was the most beautiful, gorgeous New York event. Everything you could imagine, everything I dreamed of it was. And I was prepared. I got into that audience. People were asking me for my pictures because I got the best pictures. Because I had did my research. I had better pictures than the camera people they hired. I just had really good conversations with people, made relationships with people that have lasted, I don't know how long since that event, and also left there with like 15 clients. And I'm not kidding. All right. So they are still in my network today, that we're still close and connected. I still go to New York and meet with them for VIP days once a year. It's just amazing. All right. So those are the 5 tips. When you're networking, make sure that you can network your way to the top. Make sure that you're interested and interesting. Make sure that you give something so they can get in touch with you with. There's always a way to network. Start at work. Start with just local events in your area. Start with having dinner with other people. But just start wherever you're at. Start online. You can network online now. Comment on people's page. Say something nice about people that you want to connect with. All right? Talk to people on their podcasts. Call in if they say you could call in and ask questions. Find your way into the network that you need that's going to cause you to do better business and to grow your business and to scale your business. I'm super excited. I can't wait to see you at the top. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this one, you're going to love the other ones. I'm telling you, they're exciting. Also, click the link below and check out my free offer. I have something really exciting I want to get to you.